just for a moment, close your eyes and feel the quiet hum of your own being. Not your plans, thoughts, or worries, but just the fact that you are aware that you are here. That awareness goes back further than your name, your memories, and all the stories you've told yourself about who you are. It's not just a poetic idea or a fantasy. You've been living your whole life in a holographic reality. It's a real, measurable field of consciousness that shows itself through form. Still, almost no one was taught how to really feel this. It was taught to us to look for results, solve problems, fight life, and change the surface of things as if it were the source. You're not crazy if you've ever felt like you're doing everything right, but something still feels off, like life keeps repeating itself no matter how hard you try. You can feel the deeper structure of reality pulling your attention inward, toward the field that makes everything you see possible. People in the past didn't call this imagination or belief. It felt like a living intelligence moving through their nervous systems, their breath, their minds, and their inner stillness. Long before there were labs and equations, the human mind directly explored the deeper levels of existence. Modern physics is now catching up. It's finding that reality isn't solid like we were taught, that matter comes from invisible informational fields, that what you see affects what happens, and that space itself acts like a holographic projection. But what matters to you is that this is not philosophy or science that you can't understand. This is the system that runs your daily life. Every feeling you have, every thought you have, and every identity you hold in your nervous system sends out a frequency signature into the Arcturian field matrix that surrounds and connects you. Reality is built around that signal, not because the universe is mad at you, but because fields that are coherent always reflect their main resonance. People who used manifestation techniques might have found them tiring or hard to understand because they were focusing on moving things around on top of a projection instead of adjusting the field that makes the projection happen. You were taught to control reality instead of getting along with it. You learned to force instead of align. You learned to want instead of connect. Through frequency coherence, perception grids, observer stabilization, and state-based reality mechanics, you start to learn how consciousness actually interacts with reality today. It's not about changing into someone else. You need to remember the deeper self that has always been working below your conditioned mind. First, let's talk about how the world you've been walking through without realizing it is holographic. The room you're in now feels solid, reliable, and normal. Walls look like they are separate from the air. Things don't seem to be connected to each other. It seems like time goes by in a straight line. It feels like you're a small person in a big world. Reality, on the other hand, is not based on this sensory picture. It's the tip of an informational field that goes much deeper. This world is like a movie that you are watching on a screen. They look like real pictures. They move, talk to each other, and make meaning and emotion. But the movie doesn't really come from the screen. It's the light, the projector, and the coded data moving through a lens. You can see the holographic universe in the same way. The projection is the world that we can see. The generator is the field that can't be seen. This deeper level is often called an implicate field in physics. It is a unified domain where information exists in a folded, non-local state before it unfolds into space, time, and matter. This area is seen as a coherent intelligence grid in Arcturian perception science. It's like an energetic matrix where consciousness organizes chance into experience. Your body, your thoughts, and the world around you are not separate things that float around on their own. The way they are expressed locally shows how this unified field is interacting with itself, Each particle tells us something about the whole. The whole system leaves its mark on every moment. This is why your gut has power. This is what makes synchronicity possible. This is why your inner state has a bigger effect on the outside world than any amount of effort could. In the past, these ideas weren't known as field theory or quantum mechanics. They felt it directly when they were meditating, when their minds were altered, or when they were in deep stillness and didn't feel separate from anything. They understood that the world of form is a living hologram that comes from consciousness. This isn't fake or pointless. It's just extra, like a reflection in a mirror. You feel helpless when you can only talk to your reflection. Reality stops being resistant and starts responding when you learn how to connect with the source field. If you've ever felt like life was happening to you instead of through you, it's because you were only aware of the hologram's surface layer. Hold your breath for 1 second and write the word aware in the comments if that sentence made you feel anything in your body, not just your mind. Don't think about it. Don't try to make sense of it. Allow your fingers to react to what your field already knows. This easy recognition keeps your awareness stable in your perception grid and lets your system know that things are starting to fit together in a way that makes sense. It was shadows instead of light that you were trying to talk to. Instead of stabilizing the frequency that causes outcomes, you were trying to change the order of the outcomes. As soon as this understanding goes from being an idea to being felt, you start to feel calmer. You understand that you are not stuck in reality. By being the way you are a part of its ongoing creation. At all times, there are 2 basic levels of experience going on at the same time. One layer is made up of things that can be seen, like actions, conversations, responsibilities, feelings, and memories. Here is the unfolded layer, the clear definition of reality, where everything seems separate and measurable. The other layer is much stronger but can't be seen. The unified field of awareness is where information comes before form, where chance comes before choice, and where coherence comes before manifestation. This is the implicate domain, the quantum field, or the Arcturian source grid. It holds all the possible versions of you and all the possible times. Inside your body, you can't move between these layers. Attention, nervous system regulation, emotional coherence, and identity stabilization help you switch between them. Your consciousness is always going back and forth between being a surface personality and a field-based observer. There are a lot of people living on the surface. Their nervous system is tuned to predict the future, stay alive, be in charge, and follow habits. Their perception grid filters reality through what they have learned in the past. Their electromagnetic field sends out familiar emotional frequencies that keep making the same things happen. They might want things to change, but the way they feel inside keeps pulling them back to the same probability corridor. The deeper part of reality doesn't care about what you say or want. It responds to making sense. When your thoughts, feelings, breath, posture, nervous system rhythm, and sense of self are all in sync, you have coherence. Your electromagnetic field stops being chaotic and starts to be ordered when coherence stabilizes. Instead of getting messed up, your perception grid gets clearer. Your observer awareness stops changing and stays steady. In Arcturian mechanics, this is the point at which timeline access is easy. You're no longer stuck in monotony. By assuming a different state, you can start choosing new probability pathways. So this is why trying harder doesn't always work. Effort often makes things less coherent. Stress makes the nervous system tight. Wanting makes separation stronger. Forcing makes resistance stronger. The field reads the state below, not the intention on the surface. Your field sends out contractions when your body feels unsafe. If you don't think your identity is worthy, your field will show that you are limited. Your field sets up experiences that are like the disappointment your nervous system thinks you will feel. Not as punishment or fate, but as the way things work in the real world. A small change takes place when you start to feel the implicate layer in your own awareness. Along with the storyline of your life, you stop identifying with it and start to feel the quiet space behind it. You become aware of thoughts coming up inside of you. Emotions pass through our awareness. Inside of awareness, feelings come and go. That awareness does not struggle on its own. It doesn't get scared. It doesn't chase, it looks around. This presence of observing is not passive. Potential turns into experience because of the stabilizing force. This is the observer function that quantum physics talks about, and it's also the function that early consciousness researchers learned to consciously embody. You're not here to get away from the real world. You are here to learn how to consciously move through it by making your internal field alignment more stable. The explicate level naturally reorganizes when you work from the implicate level. Life doesn't need you to run it. You need to make your life match the version of life you want to live. Imagine a huge, bright web that goes on forever in all directions. Each node in this web is linked to every other node by energy and information that can't be seen. Every node in the system is a reflection of the others. The whole network changes when one point moves. This isn't making things up. This is the way holographic systems work. This is how memories are stored in your brain. This is how the electromagnetic field around your heart talks to the rest of the world. This is how quantum entanglement works when it's far away. This is how consciousness sets up the world. You aren't in the web right now. You are the web expressing itself from a local point of view. In this field, your body is both a sender and a receiver. An electromagnetic field that can be measured and goes beyond your skin is made by your heart. Your brain sends out electrical waves that change how you think and act. Your feelings make magnetic patterns that change the way you choose probabilities. They make up your unique coherence signature in the bigger Arcturian field matrix. This is why internal changes often come before changes in the outside world. The web changes how its feedback loops work around you when your frequency stabilizes in a different way. There may be new people coming into your life. Old habits are breaking down. Chances show up out of the blue. More ideas coming to mind. Timing matching up without any trouble. These are not just random events. They are responses at the field level to changes in coherence. But here is the delicate truth that keeps this knowledge from being twisted by ego. The center of the web is everywhere. You're not more important than anyone else. Others are not dominated by your coherence. It works well with the whole system. Instead of making it easier to control oneself, true field alignment breaks down the illusion of separation. As coherence grows, compassion naturally grows too. You start to feel like you're not alone, but rather connected. You act from resonance instead of taking things by force. You pay more attention. You trust people more. You stop being reactive and start being responsive. This is why it usually doesn't work when people try to use spiritual ideas to control other people. The field responds to being real, not having a plan. Not performance, but embodiment makes it work. When you try to control the web out of fear or lack, it gets less coherent. Flow goes up when you align with the web by being present and following the rules. You can't tell the web what to do. You remember being a part of it. Most likely, you've felt this way before without knowing what it was. A time when you were very calm, and all of a sudden, things got softer around you. There was a time when you listened to your gut and the day went smoothly. A time when your inner healing led to changes in your relationships or at work that you didn't expect. In these moments, we can see how coherence mechanics work. In this way, they show you that reality is connected, alive, and responsive. This is where a lot of sincere seekers give up. They get the ideas. They say affirmations over and over. They picture what will happen. They learn about spiritual teachings. Still, their daily routines stay stubbornly the same. This takes place since the conscious mind is not the main force behind field coherence. The nervous system, emotional memories, and identity programs in the subconscious all work much deeper than what we can think on the surface. Repetition, your early environment, emotional conditioning, cultural imprinting, and survival responses all played a role in making your unconscious patterns. These patterns affect how safe you feel, how worthy you feel, and how willing you are to change. They are not just in the mind, they live in the body too. They control how you breathe, stand, tone your muscles, your hormone levels, and how you see the world. If these patterns don't change, your electromagnetic signal doesn't change either, no matter what you think or say. Making changes to the volume instead of the frequency of a radio station is like trying to tune it. You can keep amplifying your effort and still get static. The tuning mechanism is in the coherence of your nervous system, not in your willpower. This is why embodiment is always a part of deep transformation. It means going more slowly, sensations of feeling, keeping the breath in, getting rid of defensive habits, giving the body a sense of safety again, rather than holding on to old feelings, letting them out slowly. Your perception grid changes when your nervous system starts to feel more stable. There are new chances that come up for you. You see things in different ways. You answer instead of reacting. It gets less noisy and more coherent in your field. This makes it possible to access new probability streams. The truth doesn't change just because you want it to. Because you changed, you became a different signal in the field. This is another reason why you should be kind to yourself. Self-judgment makes things more difficult. Shame makes things less stable. Fear breaks up awareness. Regulating is compassion. Kindness keeps things stable. Presence levels things out. The more safety you create inside your field, the more adaptable it is. You're not broken because you work out. You are a person. Your system learned how to stay alive. Then it learned to thrive through unity instead of defense. You can't make this happen. You let it happen slowly, patiently, and lovingly. There is a calm observer inside you that sees your thoughts without taking them on, your feelings without getting lost in them, and your sensations without fighting them. The observer in this case is not cold or detached. It is awareness itself, wide, steady, and smart. Your nervous system starts to switch out of survival mode when you rest in this observer presence. Take a deep breath in. Let your shoulders loosen up. Also, type the word settled in the comments if you feel even a little bit of settling or space in your body. It's not about performance. It's a sign of the nervous system. Naming a regulated state makes your field more coherent and strengthens the observer pathway that lets new timelines settle down. You take deeper breaths. Your heart rate evens out. Brain waves get less strong. Your electromagnetic field gets better organized. This is coherence that can be measured. From the point of view of state-based reality mechanics, The observer keeps the choice of probability stable. It frees you from habitual identity loops and gives you access to new ways of responding. You are no longer automatically going back in time. You make your choice in the present. This doesn't mean hiding your feelings or skipping over your experiences. It means letting experience pass through your awareness without giving it your identity. Fear can happen without making you who you are. You don't have to stay stuck in sadness. You can feel excited without becoming addicted. The observer makes room for integration to happen naturally. You strengthen the neural pathways that support conscious choice when you practice going back to observer awareness. Over time, this changes the way the brain works so that it is more controlled instead of reactive. This is how neuroplasticity and quantum observer mechanics work together. Your biology is where old knowledge and new science meet. This observer doesn't come from you. It's what you are underneath the conditioning. This field of stability inside you gets stronger every time you stop, breathe, and notice something without judging it. These are the places where real change starts. We can go into more detail about how identity coherence changes timelines, how perception grids open up higher probability states, and how Arcturian field alignment shows up in everyday life if you're ready. Most people think of personality traits, memories, roles, habits, and preferences when they think of identity. They see identity as a story about who they are. In field-based consciousness mechanics, on the other hand, identity is not a story. Identity is a pattern of frequencies that are stable in the electromagnetic field, the nervous system, and the emotional body. It is the wave that your system sends out into the Arcturian grid of reality all the time. This signal tells you which probability corridors you can still see and which ones you can't. Each belief you have has its own frequency. Your magnetic field changes depending on how you're feeling. How energy moves through your body is affected by how you stand, breathe, and speak. They make a coherent signature that the quantum field can read with great accuracy. You tell the field what you want, but it doesn't do it. The identity you are embodying in your cells tells it what to do. Because of this, two people can walk into the same opportunity and have very different results. They are picking different timelines from the same probability matrix with their internal coherence signatures. Even having a lot of things will feel unsafe and unstable if your nervous system is tuned to scarcity. Intimacy may feel dangerous if your identity is tuned to self-defense. Even success may feel short-lived and fragile if your perception grid is set to disappointment. These are not flaws in the way you think. They are patterns of coherence that used to keep you safe and only need to be gently recalibrated now. Identities are seen as changed standing waves inside the bigger unified field in Arcturian perception science. The holographic projection will also be stable when the standing wave is. The projection changes when the standing wave moves. From the outside, you are not changing the truth. You are changing the internal oscillator that tells your brain which version of reality to show you. This is a time when understanding and embodiment come together. Do you feel this truth in your chest, your breath, or your posture right now? If so, write "My signal is shifting" in the comments. You're not giving people hope. You're confirming that you are aware. When you name a shift from inside coherence, your nervous system anchors the frequency more deeply, and the new identity pattern starts to be stabilized by itself in your field. This is why change feels physical, not intellectual. Even if you get an idea right away, it could take your nervous system weeks or months to adjust to the change in frequency. To learn safety, you have to use your body. Trust needs to be felt in the body. The breath and posture must become naturally open. The old signal will keep going out automatically until the body learns the new state. This is not a fail. This is biologically smart. Your system changes not through force, but through repetition, kindness, and consistency. The oscillator gets a little better tuned every time you choose presence over reaction. When you are stressed and breathe consciously, you change the field. When you respond with kindness instead of defense, you keep a higher coherence signature steady. Identity is not set in stone. It has a fluid frequency structure. You don't have a direct view of reality. Your perception grid is made up of your past experiences, emotional conditioning, beliefs, the expectations of your nervous system, and the way your culture has shaped you. This grid helps you choose what to pay attention to, what to ignore, how to understand what's happening, and which options feel possible and which ones feel out of reach. Because their perception grids are tuned differently, two people can be in the same room and feel like they are in two different worlds. When you base your grid on fear or limits, your mind naturally looks for danger, lack, and proof of old stories. When safety and coherence make up your grid, your attention naturally finds chance, connection, and creative possibility. There has been no change to the field itself. The place where you can access the field has changed. Because of this, changing outside circumstances rarely leads to lasting happiness. The same emotional patterns will show up in new places if the perception grid stays the same. Old dynamics will play out again in new relationships. With new jobs, old stress patterns will come back. In small ways, new places will feel like home. As long as the template stays the same, the hologram will keep rearranging itself around it. Thought maps are not wrong. They are flexible maps that your nervous system makes to help you stay safe in the world. But they are no longer useful when the situation or your abilities change. To update the grid, you need to take it easier. Pay attention to your reactions. Feel your body. Gently question old beliefs. And let new experiences change the way you think about things. When the grid gets softer, things start to look different on their own. People look nicer. Opportunities seem easier to get to. Being creative comes more easily. More synchronicities happen. It's not like the world changed overnight by magic. This is because new ways for you to get into the quantum probability field have become available. Perception works like a tuning mechanism. There are a lot of possible futures hidden in every moment. In the unified field, these futures exist as probability waves. They are not made out of nothing. Based on your coherent state, you choose which one to use. To do this, use timeline mechanics. The reality you will experience tomorrow is already there as a pattern of odds today. Which pathway takes over is based on your nervous system, your emotions, your identity frequency, and your perception grid. When you stay in a new state of being for a long time, the field starts to change around that state. Chances come together. Some relationships change. New creative ideas come up. Problems are solved or redirected. This is not due to magic, but to the accuracy of resonance mechanics. The field automatically boosts coherence and lowers incoherence. Intensity is not as important as consistency in this case. Reality can be changed more effectively by a steady, gentle frequency that is maintained over time than by short bursts of effort followed by collapse. Stress doesn't help your system learn. Repetition and safety do. Timeline changes often seem small at first. Every little choice counts. There are new conversations. The inner dialogue gets softer. Energy levels change. Over time, these small changes add up to a big change that can be seen. The old timeline slows down over time. while the new one stays stable. In consciousness, this is a phase transition. There is less trouble with this process as you trust it more. Control makes the system tighter. Trust makes it easier. Relaxation makes things more coherent. Coherence makes things clearer. Clarity shows us new ways to get there. Whether you are aware of it or not, you are always choosing a timeline. Being aware just lets you act on purpose instead of out of habit. You don't need to fix your emotions. They are frequency carriers that let the field know what's going on inside you. Coherence gets better when emotions are free to move and are combined with awareness. Incoherence gets worse when emotions are pushed down, fought, or acted out. One of the most powerful forces that keeps people stable is heart coherence. When appreciation, safety, or compassion make your heart beat in a regular pattern, it brings your nervous system into balance. The electromagnetic field that the heart makes becomes organized and coherent. Brain activity, hormonal balance, immune response, and interactions with the outside world are all affected by this coherent field. You don't have to fake a good mood. When the nervous system feels safe, present, and connected, authentic coherence happens on its own. Heart coherence can be maintained without much effort by using simple techniques like slow breathing, being grateful for small things, gentle movement, or paying attention. When emotional coherence gets better, intuition gets stronger, timing gets better. It becomes easier to make decisions. At the same time, the body feels more grounded and energized. This is the nervous system getting ready for a state of optimal regulation. When there is a change in coherence, the field reacts right away, and the effects are often subtle at first. Pay attention to how you feel inside instead of what other people say. Alignment is shown by ease. This way of life stops feeling like practice and starts to feel natural after a while. You feel more present as you go about your day. You answer instead of reacting. You pay more attention to your body. You believe what your gut tells you. When old patterns come up, you let them go faster. Reality is no longer a fight for you. It makes you dance. This does not mean that life is now easy or perfect. It means that problems don't change who you are anymore. You stay logical as you deal with change. Instead of fighting it, you learn from it. Inside your nervous system, you stay in touch with the observer. Your life stops being a fight against the field and starts being a conversation with it. What's most beautiful is that this coherence spreads outward. People are calmer when they're with you. Conversations get softer. It's easier for conflicts to calm down. Working together creatively gets better. You become a node in the collective web that keeps it stable. You're not here to take over the world. You're here to make it sound good. This is the time to hold on to that resonance if this space feels like more than just information. If it feels like your nervous system recognizing something as true. Here, subscribing isn't for content or notifications. Staying connected to a frequency environment that supports alignment, coherence, and embodiment is what it means. Over time, your system will integrate more deeply and naturally if you stay connected to a coherent transmission field. Through human embodiment, this is how consciousness changes itself. Now we'll talk about the last integration, how surrender, trust, and embodied alignment make it easy for the implicate field to show up in your daily life, as well as how to keep this change stable over time. Surrender is a word that is used a lot in spiritual teaching that people get wrong. When people hear the word surrender, they often think of being weak, passive, giving up, or losing control. In field-based consciousness mechanics, however, giving up is not the same as collapsing. This is smart alignment. It is the nervous system getting rid of extra resistance so that coherence can stabilize on its own. It's the body putting its faith in the field's intelligence instead of fighting it. Your nervous system gets tighter when you fight against what is happening. Muscles get tight. It gets harder to breathe. Thought loops get longer. The emotional charge grows. This makes your electromagnetic field less coherent and warps your perception grid. When your system is in defense mode, you can't even think of new ways to solve problems. The quantum probability matrix responds with even more fragmentation, making your field noisy and broken up. It's the opposite of that contraction to give up. It's when you slow down your breathing, loosen up your shoulders, let your feelings move, and let go of the need for things to be different right now. It's not giving up, it's being there. It means choosing to keep your inner state stable no matter what is going on outside. This creates coherence right away. As soon as coherence is stable, the field starts to reorganize itself on its own. You may notice that insights come to you easily. Emotional clarity gets better. There are synchronicities. Solutions come up on their own. Instead of protecting you, your nervous system turns into an antenna that can pick up signals. This is why ancient teachings stressed the importance of being still, quiet, reflecting, and being gently aware. They were not running away from life. In order to connect with the deeper intelligence of the implicate field, they were adjusting their own signal. When there is alignment, action is precise instead of reactive. When you need to move, you do. You take a break when you need to. You speak when things become clear. You wait until the time is right. Giving up means trusting the coherence process instead of trying to control what happens. It's not enough to just believe something. It means having faith in your own ability to control, adjust, and react. You trust your nervous system's ability to handle new information without collapsing when you trust the field. You are relying on awareness to shape how you see things. You are trusting that coherence will naturally show you the next steps. Being discerning is still going on. You can still choose. There are still limits you set. You still pay attention to your gut. Trusting someone just takes away the sense of urgency that clouds decisions. No longer do you have to choose out of fear or lack. You can pick between stability and clarity. This is known as stabilized observer alignment in the mechanics of Arcturia. Even as experiences change, the observer stays in place. The system stays flexible and doesn't break up. This gives you more intuitive intelligence, creative insight, and harmony in your relationships. When trust levels stabilize, the field reflects that stability back through easier interactions, more chances to help, and less conflict. Things start to work together instead of against each other in life. You no longer feel like you have to prove, protect, or perform all the time. Your identity becomes more real as you relax. This doesn't get rid of problems with growth. It changes how you talk to them. You deal with problems by being curious instead of scared. Instead of controlling uncertainty, you are open to it. You don't fight change. Instead, you adapt to it. This keeps the flow of your field steady during changes. Patterns from the past don't just go away. They come to the surface as your system learns new states of coherence. There may be fear. There may be whispers of doubt. For a short time, old habits may come back. This is not a fail. It's called integration. Picture your nervous system as it learns a new beat. In the beginning, the old rhythm sometimes gets in the way. As time goes on, the new rhythm takes over. When you become aware of an old pattern and choose to respond with awareness instead of reaction, you weaken the old neural loop and make the new one stronger. Being gentle is key. Being hard on yourself leads to incoherence. Regulation is kept up by compassion. When old feelings come back, take a deep breath. Don't think of the feelings as problems. Just feel them. Let the body naturally get rid of the energy it has stored. Remind yourself that these waves are just old patterns of conditioning letting go. It's not broken on your end. That's how it learns to stay safe in a new frequency band. Integration takes time, repetition, and being present in your body. Usually, dramatic events are not what bring about change. Micro choices that are small and consistent keep coherence stable over time. Waiting to act before doing so. Choosing to breathe when you feel stressed. Making the choice to listen instead of argue. Deciding to rest when they are stressed. Deciding to be honest instead of trying to please. Picking to move your body slowly. Choosing to take care of yourself. Each micro-choice changes your frequency signature in a small way. Being present in small ways changes the way the nervous system works. The signal you send into the field gets stronger with each moment of coherence. Small changes like these add up to big changes. You might not see changes right away in the outside world, but inside you will feel more stable, open, and strong. As your timeline stabilizes, this internal stability will eventually lead to changes in the outside world. Consistency is more valued than intensity in this field. As time goes on, your life stops being about controlling outcomes and starts being about being coherent. You become a living link between your mind and your body. It gets easier for you to think. Your feelings change more quickly. It makes your body feel safer. The relationships you have become more real. Your creativity comes easily to you. You start to pick up on subtle feedback from the field. Being aligned is something you can tell when it's not there. You learn to make changes slowly instead of forcing them. You have more faith in your own inner guidance. This isn't wonderful. It's called integration. You still feel emotions like a normal person. You are still having trouble, but you don't feel lost in them anymore. You stay in the state of observer awareness. You think of the bigger field that holds everything. People feel better when you're around, even if you're not trying to fix them. Your coherence makes spaces stable. Being real opens the door to truth. Your calm makes people feel safe. You might want to share this transmission with someone in your life who has been looking for clarity, grounding, or a deeper sense of alignment. The field naturally gets stronger when coherent information moves through nervous systems that are linked together. Sharing does more than just send content to more people. It also spreads stability, awareness, and resonance through the web as a whole. One coherent nervous system at a time. This is how consciousness grows as a whole. As you start to follow these principles, your sense of who you are starts to change in a subtle way. You're not just your past, your roles, or what other people expect of you anymore. You experience yourself as a changing field of awareness that shows itself in the form of a person. You have more space inside, not quite as tight, better flow. You stop trying to control every detail of your life and start to trust how it will go. You know that your inner state is the main thing that makes experiences what they are. You stop chasing and start getting in line. You stop pushing and start letting. This gets you ready for the last part of embodiment, living as the coherent you will be in the future right now, making the new identity stable until it becomes your natural baseline. In the last section, we'll put everything into practice in our daily embodiment, keep the identity shift stable, and make this change permanent. At some point on this journey, inside you, something very quiet but very strong starts to happen. You no longer think about growth all the time. You don't compare yourself to the person you used to be. You no longer need proof that you're changing. You start to live from a different place inside yourself instead. It's not hard to make your breath feel calmer. Without you realizing it, your body holds less tension. Your reactions naturally calm down. It makes your thoughts nicer, clearer, and bigger. This isn't making things up. This is your nervous system making a new coherence signature stable. So your identity isn't based on memories or fears as much as it used to be. It becomes rooted in being aware of the present moment and feeling safe in your body. You start to see yourself not as a fixed story, but as a living field of consciousness. It gets better for the Arcturian perception grid inside your system. Energy, emotion, and intuition all seem to be changing in small ways. You can trust your inner guidance more now that it's not competing with urges that are caused by anxiety. Being stable doesn't mean being stiff. It means having both flexibility and stability. You don't have to lose who you are when things change. You can feel strong emotions without being too much for yourself. You don't have to give up when you face uncertainty. Because of this stability, your electromagnetic identity signal stays strong even when you're under a lot of stress. The quantum probability field keeps reorganizing around your new baseline instead of snapping you back into old patterns when coherence stays stable. That's why patience is so important during change. The body slowly adjusts to change. Through repetition, the nervous system learns how to stay safe. Every day of living in a coherent way makes the neural pathways that support your new state stronger. Every calm answer builds trust. Every conscious breath helps with regulation. The new identity stops being the exception and becomes the norm over time. You aren't pushing yourself to get better anymore. Now you're letting yourself become more real. When you get coherence under control, life starts to feel like a conversation with intelligence. You can see feedback loops better now. When you push out of fear, there is more friction. Flow gets stronger when you move out of alignment. When you take breaks when you need to, your energy naturally returns. Relationships get stronger when you are honest. The field is always reacting to how you are feeling inside. This is not a belief in ghosts. It is intelligence for systems. Coherence and instability always have an effect on complex systems. There are a lot of parts to your nervous system. The world around you is a complicated system. Being conscious is a complicated process. When coherence goes up in one node, it has an effect on the whole network. You stop rushing and start to trust the timing. You know when to do something and when to wait. You don't feel pressure from life. Instead, you feel soft invitations. It's easy for creativity to flow. Solutions just show up on their own. You start to understand that hard work is not what gives you power. Being there is, not taking responsibility or following rules does not mean this. It means that your actions come from clarity instead of being forced to do them. Still, you're taking steps toward your goals, but they don't feel like hard work. Your nervous system is no longer telling you to swim against it. The field stops being your enemy and starts working with you. Seeking naturally gets softer after a while. The constant need to learn more, find better ways to do things, and get better stops. Not because you lose your interest, but because you don't feel fundamentally lacking. You know that what you were looking for was always inside of you. You were aware of how stable your awareness was, how safe your nervous system was, and how your field fit together. Now is the time when things get easier. You enjoy everyday things more deeply. You like being alone. You're grateful without trying to be. You feel connected without needing to be proven right. Stop comparing yourself to things that don't exist. Stop looking for better versions of yourself in the future. You enjoy the present more. To stay the same is not what this means. Growth keeps happening on its own, without any stress. Evolution stops being based on fear and starts to happen naturally. You grow because it makes you happy, not because you feel like you're missing something. You understand that the holographic universe is not something you can run away from or change. It's something you should do with awareness, love, and wisdom. Chapter 20. Becoming an important part of the whole. As your coherence becomes more stable, your presence starts to naturally affect other people, not by convincing or teaching, but by striking a chord. People are calmer when they're with you. Conversations get less rapid. Feelings of safety grow. It's easier for conflicts to calm down. In public places, people are more likely to be creative. You become a node in the collective field that keeps things stable. This is how transformation in groups really happens. Not through forced ideology or mass control, but by the natural spread of individual coherence through networks of relationships. Each nervous system that is controlled adds to the stability of the web as a whole. Each heart that works together strengthens the harmony in the field. There is no need for you to save the world. You need to make your field stable. That has an effect on other things that you might not fully see, but the effect is real. Coherence is how the universe changes over time. This is not the end of your journey. Making sense is not the end goal. They are still together. You will feel deeply aligned some days. On some days, old patterns may show up for a short time. It makes sense. Not like most things, growth doesn't go in straight lines. When things go wrong, go back to the basics. Take deep breaths. Feel your body. Take it easy. Watch without judging. Get in touch with presence. Let the nervous system do its thing. Trust the field to get back on track. These simple habits keep things in alignment a lot better than more complicated methods. You can be conscious and human at the same time. You can take a break. You can take your time to learn. You can enjoy your life without always trying to get better. Wait for the field. It's moving at the speed of becoming one. A quiet truth that has never changed lies beneath every role you play, every story you've told yourself, every wound, and every hope. You are awareness showing itself in the form of matter. You are consciousness getting smarter by doing things. You are not separate from everything else. From a certain point of view, you are the universe experiencing itself. You're not supposed to be here. You don't have no power. You're not hurt. You connect the implicate field to the visible world in a living way. The nervous system is like a tuning fork. Your heart makes things fit together. Your awareness is the observer that keeps things stable. You don't have to earn good things. You're already there. You don't have to earn alignment. You already fit in. You do not need to look ahead. You are learning how to deal with it by connecting with it. This is not a smart way to remember. It makes you feel at ease, safe, open, and trusting. A life is made up of small decisions every day. Being kind to yourself and others is a way to show it. It stays stable because of presence. You can take it easy and enjoy being alive. Take a moment to be still as this transmission ends. Take a deep breath. Feel how heavy you are. Feel the quiet awareness that has been there the whole time. That awareness is the frequency of your home. That's the consistency you keep coming back to. Reality will keep getting worse. There will be problems. You'll be surprised by beauty. Friendships will change over time. There will be chances, and then there will be none. Your real power is not in being in charge, but in being able to make sense of everything. No, not in force, but in line. Not by trying, but by being there. You are learning how to live as a signal that makes sense in a holographic universe that is alive. I want you to make one clear statement in the field before you go about your day. Write these exact words in the comments. Coherence is my choice, not as a reason, as an affirmation, no, as a choice about identity. When you choose based on presence instead of effort, the Arcturian field locks the signal into your perception grid and helps your new baseline become stable on its own. You are getting better at trusting the smarts that run through you. You are learning how to dance between form and field in a conscious way. Allow this information to slowly become a part of your life. Let it affect how you breathe, what you do, the people you talk to, and the way you think. Let it make you weak. Let it make you stronger. Let it lead you back to yourself over and over. Remember that the center of the web is right now, no matter where you are. This breath is the key to being coherent. When you become aware of this, the field sees itself through you. And if this transmission helped your system calm down, get clear, or get back in touch with its natural coherence, do one small thing to strengthen that signal. By liking this video, you create a small feedback loop of energy and attention that makes the transmission field stronger and helps this coherence reach more systems that are open to it. It's a simple action that helps energy flow and alignment for everyone. You are not split up. You're not behind. You are right where you need to be for your unfolding. Share this transmission with someone who could use grounding, clarity, or stable nerves right now if you feel called to do so. When coherent messages move through networks that are in sync with each other, the field naturally gets stronger and grows. You're not just sending a video, you're also contributing to the flow of peace, awareness, and conscious connection. And everything is possible from here on out. Hold on just a moment. You made it this far, which means this message was meant for you. This isn't just luck. It's proof that you are ready for a major change. The universe is giving you a clear signal right now. It's time to move from struggling and chasing to easy receiving and flow. This simple idea can completely change your life. Stop forcing outcomes and start tuning in to the natural flow where blessings multiply and show up in every area of your life. By clicking the link below, you are immediately stepping into a positive, high-energy community, a place where you learn the practical steps to stay aligned. You'll get immediate, early access to simple tools and clear teachings that help you see opportunities and resources that are currently hidden from most people. This is your chance to get the direct guidance, unwavering support, and fast progress you need to reach your true potential. Don't let this moment of readiness pass you by. Your breakthrough is just one click away. Join our Ready to Receive community immediately through the exclusive link in the description. This is the simple way to ensure you always get the personalized guidance you need to elevate and empower your life exactly when you need it. If you want to go deeper and master this shift, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. And if you feel like supporting this mission so we can reach more people who are ready, a link to Buy Me a Coffee is there. Your support is always appreciated, but just showing up and focusing your energy is everything. Click the link. Your perfect timing is now.